Welcome to Balls and Brews, Pod 32. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
All right. Starting a little bit different this time around. What are we sipping on, Chuck?
This is delicious.
That is very tasty.
I
Can't
did.
believe
Look at
this is
that color.
Imperial.
Two Towns Cider House.
Dude, I love
Their
Two Towns.
Tropical Cosmic Crisp, which features a balance of passion fruit, hibiscus, and their apples, obviously, because it's a cider.
Right. Dude, I
The
totally
hibiscus
get that.
apples.
I
So
get this-
8%, as you guys just mentioned, it is quite the Imperial.
Oh.
So you saw the can
It's
matches like it. The color of
It's
the
so cool.
it is quite delicious.
Such a cool can.
So wow, very very passion fruity. Very.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Very
Did you
passion fruit.
pick this up somewhere in particular, or just stumble across
Rayleigh's, yeah,
Dude,
no,
Rayleigh's
just
is
kinda,
a good spot for me.
they are elevated. They're elevated grocery store beer. They're not as fancy as like some of the beer sellers we have, but like they have really good like just at the grocery store
Yeah.
kind of choice.
How many Two Towns have you guys had, dude? I'm a real big fan of the Two Towns in general.
This is actually my first.
Okay. No, I've had the basic Cosmic Crisp. I've had their their dry as well.
Yeah.
Like I would say that and their Marinberry is really good too.
Have you had it off a tap yet? Bully's has
Yes.
it on tap.
Yes.
It's like it's
Ooh.
real good on tap.
Yes, agreed.
Like real drinkable.
It's funny because
Always better on tap.
I was never a cider fan really, like originally, and then it just kind of crept into my repertoire. if
Yeah,
you
so let's
will.
just dive with that. Let's just dive into the beer question. What's your thing with cider? I'm kind of with Chuck. I wasn't a cider guy, and then I had a couple, and then I was like, okay. Then had a couple more, and you know what was one of my favorites for a long time was Smith and Forge. It was a 6%er, and it was a little bit
I
drier.
remember that one.
I really enjoyed it.
Is that not a thing anymore?
I haven't
think
seen
so?
it in a long
Good
time.
man. I haven't either. Now that I think about it, I do remember that name.
But I love them, and I love like you get like a pear one is delicious.
They can be.
You can get different ones.
That is really good.
This
There's no
is
way that's
delicious.
8%, man.
I know.
That's dangerous.
We'll be diving into a second beer real quick. What's your guys' thoughts on ciders in general?
So ciders are growing on me. I'm not quite where you are yet, but I am approaching. I feel the same level. I'm getting there. Starting to sample some more. Usually I just always fall back to beer.
And even when I go to
That's why it's called Balls and Brews.
even when I go to a brewery, if I get a flight, sometimes if
I'll
I get
sneak
a
a
five,
cider in there now.
maybe number 5 is a cider if they have one on tap. I'm always like, oh,
Dude.
I wonder what
I go off the
Good call.
charts and like
Yeah.
I love me a hard kombucha. I was sipping on one earlier, some June
See, I'm
Shine.
not much.
No, I love you guys ferment. It's fermented
Yeah.
anything. The apples, malt, barley, whatever it all. Hops.
Are you a meat guy?
What am I meat?
Mead.
Mead. I mean,
It's-
it's one of those where it's just like anything. When it's made well, sure, why not? It definitely can drink well. Like it is very sweet. You have to
Yeah.
kind of know what you're getting into. Like, so maybe one.
I feel like the majority of those are overly sweet for me. But I've had a good one before.
They're too sweet for me, for real.
I've had one that wasn't overly powerful as far as the sweet goes, and that's the one I liked, of course.
So let's jump right into MLB Playoffs. They've been pretty good.
They've been very good. I
very
would say,
good.
other than the matchups.
There's been a couple blowouts here and there, but most of the time they've been good. Trev, last week,
One
me
blowout.
and Chuck, I think each picked. Did we pick last week who we wanted to see, Chuck?
Yeah, well, I said anybody but the Astros.
Yeah, and I said I want Phillies, Rangers,
Because-
pick
right,
Phillies
because, yeah.
on the pod,
Mhm.
but it would be nice. So right now, let's jump in the AL. Dude, it's 3-2. It was 2-0, and the Astros come back strong. 3 in a row. Altuve hit a 9th inning 3-run home run last night to basically win the game. Dude, they're doing it again. I fucking can't stand it, and they're doing it again.
Yeah, they look good. I mean, being that I missed last week, I'd probably be pulling for the Phillies at this point. I just like their team.
So energetic, dude.
Yeah. What else?
No, yeah, you guys, the All Texas matchup was hard to swallow to begin with, and when the Rangers jumped out, I was like, okay, the lesser, I suppose, of the two evils, and the team that kind of came out of nowhere. Like, this is a better story, I would say. And then the Astros getting hot. baseball can flip just like that, baby.
Yep.
If you hit that switch, you can get rolling. Oh my God!
and the
that
worst-
team's done it at the right time for years now. This is their 7th AL champion, ALCS, dude. Get
But
out
the
of here.
reason
In a
we
row.
hate him so much is because they fucking cheat.
And they got caught and admitted it. It's on paper. It is on record.
Right.
There's no hearsay. It happened.
So Altuve hits his 3-run bomb last night, right? If you thought of Altuve without the cheating scandal, he could almost go down as one of the greatest second basemen to play the game, if not the greatest with his. If they win again this year, 7 straight, he has Gold Gloves, he has Silver Sluggers, he's always hit over 300. He could go down as one of the greatest to play second base, but that fucking cheating scandal is going to hang over his head forever.
Yeah, no, it's kind of reminds me of the steroids. It's just
100%.
you have talented players that don't need to cheat, but they did to get that edge. And
Well, I think they thought about it the exact opposite way. If I don't cheat, I'm gonna get left behind. Like I already know that I'm amazing, but I have to be even better because these guys are going fucking berserk.
Yeah,
There's Mark McGwire all over this place.
my point was just that these players don't need to cheat. They're Hall of Fame player caliber.
They would have been.
without
They would have been,
cheating.
sure.
Correct.
But the steroid era saved baseball. Let's not,
Correct. Let's not necessarily forget about that. But it is kind of crazy that we are watching Altuve. Like he's another person that we get to watch, or we've been able to watch, who could go down as great. We always talk about Ohtani.
Which is fun.
We
If you
talk about
saw
Trout.
him on the street, you would not think he was like the ultimate.
Dude,
second
there's that
baseman.
epic picture of him and Judge where it's like this,
And
where
that-
Judge is standing on
they
second
play
base
this-
and Altuve
they
standing
play the
next to
same
him.
sport.
Let's jump into the NL.
All right,
It's
we got
tied up 2-2. But Chuck, what is it?
game's
Okay.
underway, man. We
Yeah.
got a 2-0 lead right now for the Phillies in Arizona. So that would be a big win to get out of there in Game 5 with. Oh, hey now,
Is he announced?
incomplete.
Incomplete. It would be. It'd be big for either one of them.
Sure, no. Game 5s are any odd game is obviously
Correct.
a pivotal game in a series. Odd games are great. Like they always swing momentum
And
one way or the other.
They're in Arizona right now, correct?
Yes.
Because it goes 2-3-2 in baseball.
Yes.
So they're in Arizona. So yeah, dude, Phillies get out. Then Arizona's got to go back to the bank that's been rocking all playoffs to try to win both of them. Dude, that's a tall task to ask, man. Especially with the way Schwarber's been playing.
Well, yeah,
Harper,
that's very true.
Trey
If-
Turner,
if it
they're-
gets back to Philadelphia, I do not get. Well, it's going to, but if it goes back to Philly 3-2, I don't give Arizona.
Dude, to win 2 there.
Yeah, that seems tough.
Dude, Castellanos, all those guys have been playing hella good at the bank. So I picked Philly to get there, so I'm kind of rooting for them. But I wouldn't be necessarily mad if the D-backs got there with them just being an up-and-coming team, and their minor league system's here. So some of those guys have played.
Trev, do you think your pick of the Rangers can get over the 3-2? I'm gonna go a little bit back into
Yeah.
AL though. But
Trev did call Rangers.
He called
early on.
Rangers way early in the season.
I mean, not at this point. No, I really.
No, you think
I'm falling-
Houston's got
I
the
think so.
the momentum?
I do. I want
Well, you're
the
going-
Rangers, but
Aren't you going back to Houston? Didn't Houston just take 3 in Texas?
That makes sense,
Well,
but yeah, because
Because
the
Houston
Astros
won the division.
the AL West, right?
So Texas took 2 in Houston, and then the
That's
Astros just
so
took
funny.
3 in your
That's
fucking
so funny
house,
how that
dude.
works.
Yeah.
That's so funny how that works.
Dude,
that's
that fucking-
happened
they're on
before.
the fade.
That fuck all
On the
you know.
fade.
Last night, let's go back to that game. So last night, in the bottom of the 8th inning, bench is cleared. Dusty Baker got rung up for a bean on Diaz, I think it was. So I'm wondering if that gave the Astros a little juice. The manager got rung.
Sure.
The guy doesn't. It wasn't like the pitcher necessarily was aiming for him. They weren't. It was, why hit him at that spot? You're not like you're at the bottom of the 8th inning. You're not
I'm not
beating a guy.
saying you should. I'm just saying.
And I don't
it
think he
makes
was going
sense.
to. I think he just lost control and it hit him. So maybe that's the spark that gave the Astros. Because Rangers had it. I was thinking, yes, Rangers going 3-2. Here we go.
And then that happened. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Way to end the MLB on a down note.
On an up note, let's see the Phillies get there. And it would be nice to see the Rangers. Fuck the Astros.
Yeah, let's do. I think we can all sit here and agree that we would rather see the Rangers win the next 2 games than sneak into the World
Yes.
Series.
Yes.
We're all throwing shade at the Astros.
I will forever. I can't ever get over it.
Yeah, no, it is
Well, even
confessed cheating at the highest of levels.
But once those players and
How
Yeah.
did,
rotate
how did the
out,
World Series
Yeah.
not get stripped? How did it's been stripped in every other major sport for
We got stripped of a
big
fucking
time.
one.
You got basically the death penalty. For lesser, you didn't even cheat on the field. I've long since said this, that I don't believe that SC should have been punished that hard.
So now that we're talking about college
football,
dude,
let's go.
I feel like every week we start off, dude, this was a great week, this was great week. This was a mediocre week. Let's be honest.
There were some decent matchups, but the games just kind of...
The big games kind of were dully.
Hit, yeah.
The good games were kind of the other ones that were like...
Although right now the Duke Florida State game's kind of living up.
And SC Utah. Both games right now are legit.
So
let's jump into the ones that happened early today. Number 3 Ohio State beat number 7 Penn State 2012. Some people are going to say a defensive matchup. I think it was some defense, but it was also a really bad quarterback played football game.
Oof.
They were missing guys left and right, behind guys, in front of guys, in the dirt, over the top of the heads. Each quarterback was supposed to be pretty good. Cowherd was talking that what's the Penn State kid? Algier? What's his name?
The quarterback?
Drew
Aller?
Yeah. He was saying he'd be better than McCord. He was missing fucking all over the joint.
Yeah,
it was good defense, but it was really, really bad quarterback.
I didn't realize how bad. They put up a graphic of how bad Franklin, the coach for Penn State, has been against like top end opponents, and it's not been good. He can bully up on the lower man just fine, that's all well and good, but he can't win those big games, those rivalry games, those Big Ten.
Nope.
Gotta grind them out kind of games, man, which is so funny because they're suited for that. Like, what would Saquon Barkley say? But they beat Ohio State once, right? Wasn't that a thing back then? I could have sworn Saquon beat Ohio State, but they haven't done it since.
Maybe.
Either way, no, that was a piss poor attempt at a prime, like a big noon game, I guess. Like, it just didn't live up to the billing.
That's the game I watched too. I wish I would have watched the UCF Oklahoma.
I watched the end of that. I absolutely watched the end of
that.
that. Yeah. It was a great ending to it, and I was pulling for UCF, dude.
It definitely wasn't the Oregon-Washington matchup that we had the week before to lead the show off, and with excitement, much offense.
Too fucking good. That thing has no right being 8%.
It's delicious. Let's jump into the next one. Number 11, Bama beats Tennessee. Dude, Tennessee
woke up. Bama.
Tennessee missed so many opportunities. Missing a touchdown, going up 10-0. You're up 17-0. Instead, you're up 13, which is only 2 scores. Instead of 3, you're up 17. It's a 3-score game. Then you let Alabama go down and score a touchdown. You went down and scored a touchdown. You ended the half 27. Okay. Then you come out and just look like shit. I thought the play calling was bad in the second half. I didn't think that on offense, I thought Heupel missed a bunch of opportunities with the kid that could run, and then he started running too late with the quarterback. So I just thought it was a piss poor game. I'm still not impressed with Bama. I thought that was the best they've looked in the second half of that game as they've looked all year.
Yeah, I echo that for sure. Just that first half was interesting. I'm like, okay, I can see Bama coming back, but then Tennessee just disappeared.
Milton just, where did he go? He couldn't do anything.
I thought part of it was a play calling. You weren't giving him and then when he would run the ball, he looked good. But
right,
you were
but that's also, you don't want that. That was happening a little much for him, especially like you said at the end of the game. They tried that too late as well.
Yeah.
Well, at least once you're behind, like. You know when you watch sidebar. When you watch any professional sport, and you as a fan can generally call out something that was so bad, like bad play calling, bad management, bad timeout usage, things of that nature. You're like, I'm a casual fan, and I know that that's bad and that's wrong. Like, that shit irritates the piss out of me. There are conditions you should have been throwing. I don't give a damn. Huck that ball. You're down by 2 scores, like 7 minutes left. What are you doing?
Well, it just was like with Heupel going on 4th and 1.5 and ran the ball up the middle, and he hasn't ran the ball up the middle all day. That should have been a rollout. Let Milton make a choice of either him taking it or giving him a chance to have an open receiver. And then later in the game, they went to a rollout when they shouldn't have went to a rollout, and they should have given him more of the whole field. You ran him to like the short side. Right. Give him the whole field when you're that close. But in the 4th and 1, you should have given him a rollout, put him on the move. So I really thought there was some bad play calling, and I like Heupel as the coach. But I thought that he missed some big opportunities as an offensive play caller.
I want to touch back on real quick on the end of the UCF game because they got too fucking fancy. They tried to run this fucking
double pass.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They ran an effective offense all the way down the field. That Plumlee kid just did exactly what you hope an experienced quarterback does. Let's lock it in, finds his guys. He was kind of throwing wobbly balls, but they were getting there. Yeah. And he threw a great touchdown crosser, keep it in his hands. Let him make the decision. Why are you giving it to a guy who doesn't throw this is Oklahoma. Like, this isn't some fucking ass team in the Big 12. Like, who's the bottom of the Big 12?
Did you see
Houston?
Dylan Gabriel was the UFC.
Texas.
Dylan Gabriel, the quarterback for OU, was the UFC quarterback. That's where he transferred
UCF?
from. UCF.
Oh, wow. I did not know that storyline.
Yep.
That's juicy. I didn't know that. Okay, well, then I'm sure he felt good getting that win. But
he had a great game, too.
He did.
He's kind of moving his way up in the Heisman.
After that Texas game, for sure. He went for 25 by 38, 253, three touchdowns.
Probably low end. Maybe get drafted very low. But he's a hell of a college quarterback, dude. He's playing really good this year.
He's playing really good. He did throw one pick, but it was a play that got tipped.
I hate that.
His
okay, so Dan Patrick's show has this stat they want to put on, and I'm so for it. It's called receiver.
Like initiated picks, basically, where like receivers are the
so
if you dot a receiver and they don't catch it,
and then another guy,
the helmet or
the
whatever,
receiver gets the pick, and it doesn't go to a quarterback.
No, well, in the sense of like there should be like some grading system too. There should be, because honestly, there are some picks where you're like, that's not the quarterback's fault. Dude, that is not the quarterback's fault.
Sometimes there's a lot. Sometimes I think there's a lot more than people realize, and instead of just looking at stats, when you're watching the game and you see a guy and he even kind of like a running short, and then they got to do this and it hits off their fingertips right to like a linebacker, any of that kind of shit. Sometimes it is. I mean,
it's the wide open ones. No, it's only the wide open ones that I'm really talking about. If you throw a 50-50 ball,
no, not 50-50.
Oh, yeah,
I'm talking balls where like it hits you and it's like
hands. Yeah, hands. I dotted that motherfucker.
It hits the wide receiver or the
receiver,
any,
and then goes to the defender. Right. It doesn't it's not something that they both get their hands on at the.
Or like even if you have to make if you have to stretch your boy out, or if he's got to go contort his way to get the ball, then that's not a good throw. We're talking dead on perfect throws to the body or this area of the receiver.
Catchable balls that the defense doesn't touch and it hits
pow, and then
because you should be reaching. You're in college football or you're in pros.
Catch with your hands. See, that's what they always say.
So we talked about Oklahoma, Taiwan. Let's talk about Texas before we get into the two games.
Dude, Houston pushed them to their
31-24.
Yeah.
Ewers got hurt in the fourth quarter. It did say. I didn't see it, and then I was watching the bottom line, and it said undisclosed injury. So I hope he's not real hurt, but they pulled through.
The nation hopes he's not real hurt. That sucks.
It did say undisclosed, and I didn't see it. I don't know if you guys saw it.
I didn't either.
Close game, Texas.
I saw the game. I heard that he was out, but it really didn't matter. Texas wasn't the story. It was Houston went down to try to tie the game and botched it.
And I thought they missed. The refs missed a third down call, and that should have been reviewed. When they showed that fucking play, he was at the 9-yard line at least. Upper body wise, that play should have been reviewed, and I can't believe it didn't get reviewed for a
critical down
for a 3rd and 1 going to a first, because then you have 4 downs.
Absolutely,
instead of just 1.
Right,
so I think it's a huge call, and I was a little disappointed. A huge non-call, and I was sitting there thinking, not conspiracy dude. I'm not a conspiracy dude, but did they not give it because they don't want Texas to get upsetted? Just throwing it out there. Okay.
Not a conspiracy, dude. But think about this.
Let's jump into we got 2 games on TV right now. We're watching them here. We got SC and Utah going. They're at halftime.
14-all.
It's 14-all. SC's defense looked like shit the first quarter. It looked better now. Utah's defense is always studly, so this game is going to go down the wire. And then on the other phone, we got jumping start of the 3rd quarter. Duke 20. Florida State 17. So Duke, Riley Leonard's playing, man. Dude, that Riley Leonard kid, he's just moving himself up in the first round.
If he balls the rest of the year, he could be Mitch Trubisky. He could move up. I think he's got all the tools.
I think he's even better than Mitch Trubisky.
What I'm saying though is he could just be that kid that kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Because he's a junior, right? He can come out.
Yeah, I like him.
Or he's a redshirt sophomore. I can't remember.
He can come out.
You can come out to your redshirt sophomore, right?
Correct.
That's the
3
youngest
years
you
out of
can
high
go,
school.
right? Because if you get shirted, that's one, and then
Correct.
your freshman redshirt and your sophomore redshirt.
Jordan Travis on the other side. I like watching that kid play. You got the 2 receivers for Florida State, Keenan Cole, who is a stud, and then 14, who's going to go later on. 6'8". What's he, 6'8" or 6'7"? 14 is 6'7".
He's
6'6".
He's tall. He got
Cole's
that long reach.
Keenan Cole's 6'4", number 14's like 6'6", 6'7".
Dude,
Throw it up.
I know that I'm thinking way too far ahead, but this draft,
I love it, dude.
This draft is going to
There's
be
some
fucking bonkers, man.
So you got
so
some
many good players in so many different positions.
really
like,
good quarterbacks, some really good wide receivers, and I think you have some really good offensive tackles.
And you know what's crazy though is out of all this talent that you're seeing right here, there's going to be busts. These guys that we're high on right now, it's unfortunate, and I don't wish that upon anybody. But if everybody was successful, getting drafted high, then all teams would be great all the time, right? Like,
But to continue kind of on that, just to touch like some players of the week, like
hit it.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
lit it
Sick
the
game.
fuck up.
He's the reason Ohio State won that game.
Playmaker.
He's easily in the top 4 of players, depending on if he's 3
Non-quarterback.
Well, no, I think you even take the first 2 quarterbacks, him and then Bowers. I think are the
How
4
hurt is
best.
Bowers? What happened?
He has to have surgery, ankle or knee.
Is it okay? Yeah, that's right. I
he's
did
a
remember
big part of
surgery.
that offense. That could
really
interesting
handicap
Well, that's not only going to
next
hurt
couple
Georgia,
games.
but that's going to hurt his. Like, he's not going to go top 10 now, right? Like, I wouldn't.
Yeah, we gotta see
because they were talking about top 5 for him.
yeah,
Like, for real.
He's easily the 4th.
Now, especially now, that's
He's
insane.
easily in the top for the 4 best players coming out. With number 5 being the offensive tackle.
That's what they thought about Kyle Pitts, Arthur Smith. You don't know how to get a tight end.
Maybe
But
just
to
not use it.
bring it back,
Bring
Maserati
it back.
caught 11 passes for 162 yards and a touchdown. But I think the performance so far this Saturday was Gordon II from Oklahoma State. Their running back had 29 carries, 282 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
Wow.
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 Have yourself a day, sir. Have yourself a day.
He gets the game ball.
Oh,
forward,
boy.
sure.
You get, come on, man. It doesn't matter.
Damn,
It doesn't matter on what field you're doing that. Those are impressive numbers, dude.
Yeah.
That's D1 through D3, your jaw's hitting the floor. Like, that shit don't happen.
Yeah, dude,
Good
that's
for you,
fucking
dude.
impressive.
That might be the best stat line of anyone we've heard this year so far. Yeah, and there's been some crazy good opening week QB play and shit.
It's
Like,
definitely up there.
that's fucking ridiculous, dude.
I still
Player of
think
the week.
at the end of this week you'll see Michael Penix at 1.
The quarterback's gonna win the fucking Heisman.
Bo Nix has got to be up there.
Like,
Jaden Daniels is probably up there.
Bo Nix set a record for most
Starts 53 or something like that.
Good for
I saw
him.
that.
Good for him. And for any
For
for just NCAA like Division I
Quarterback
start. Wow, that is
quarterback mark.
wow. That's a big stat, dude. We cannot undersell that. That's a big piece of history actually. Like for quarterbacks are held. They're god tier, dude. Quarterbacks are basically considered a better position than any other position in sports.
In
For
every
real,
sport.
think about it. Yeah, it is the most coveted of all. Like, so that's a big one, Bo Nix. I drank all my booze and I don't like Oregon, but I would drink to you.
Would you?
No, I'm gonna tell you.
So let's jump into. Go
Last thing to cap college for the moment. We'll still have live updates coming. But
Live
as far as I
updates
saw, Iowa was the only team to get knocked out of the top 25.
Somebody just hit a home
By
run in the big
fucking Minnesota, like 12-10. The over under was 30.5, and I laughed when I saw it. I was like, you gotta take the over.
Somebody just hit a home run in the baseball game, so it went from 2-0 to 4-0.
Okay, so
So
then
we'll have
that's
to check
then
back
the
in on
D-backs
it.
are up
So-
4-2.
No, Philly's up 4-0.
Wait, you just okay, got it. Okay, I thought
Harper-
you said 2. Okay,
no,
all right,
that's
understood.
scroll on the bottom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
somebody
so-
bombed.
So
then
'cause
Philly's
it
up
was
4-0.
Yeah,
Nice.
Philly's up 4-0. So Harper
go.
hit a solo, but didn't tell me who hit that one. So, all right, we're gonna take a break, get some refills. We're all empty, and then we're gonna come back with NBA talk. Then we'll take another break. We're gonna this Saturday night, boys. This is a party night for
I
Pod.
can't
Throwing
wait.
it back.
I can't wait for the NBA talk. That's gonna be a great segment.
Coming
Yep.
up next.
Welcome back to Balls and Brews. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Interested in this son, bitch. I like that.
What kind of ale is this?
Yeah, what are we drinking?
It's a Tripel, you guys. It's
just
just Belgian
Belgian.
style.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
It's kind of like an old school looking.
So that's
Label.
New Belgium, Fort Collins, Colorado.
No shit.
What?
8.5?
8.5. That's what he's talking about. The Imperial pod.
It's 3 Imperial ales on this pod.
Yeah, go check us out on X and the Instagram. You're gonna see them posted, and they are two out of 3 so far are bang on. And you grab some Grand Teton, which every beer I've had from that brewery is really good too. So a little foreshadowing there for the third segment. This is really fucking good.
This is
though.
tasty.
So. If,
Not another 8.5 tasty beer.
it leans on
All night,
it leans
baby.
on that Bavarian wheat, right? Like
Yes.
that's exactly what you get. It's not a Hefeweizen necessarily. Well, I
The
guess
color.
technically it's a more aggressive Hefeweizen. A Belgian style is a wheat ale. Like it's just
Right?
yeah. Do you
Yeah.
not take yeah? No,
Yeah, no,
absolutely.
I was more asking you when you said it. Yeah.
No, yeah, they call it in ale, but it's based off of wheat. There's
Correct.
malt in it too, but like there's no
It
hops.
calls it
there's
a
no, like,
Belgian style ale. is what
right
it said.
for sure.
I know we don't usually do a second beer question.
We got one though.
How high is New Belgium in your breweries, Chuck? Is it just like a mainstay brew for you, or
Not really, to be fair. I do enjoy a lot of their rotators sometimes. Like they have this transcontinental Kriek sour, which is a cherry sour that is fantastic. I do love me some Fat Tire. To be fair, I will always drink Fat Tire. I guess if you're talking in the context, I will always take a New Belgian beer. There's not one that's bad, so
There-
I guess there's that. Like,
Definitely up there in the rankings for me.
Sure.
Too. We're talking
they're
about
pretty high for me.
honestly, there's another brewery in Fort Collins by the name of Odell's that we've sampled a couple on here, and I don't know if they've taken that city for me as
No,
a brewery.
Not
like
me.
I love me some
I am not a huge
Odell's.
fan of that brewery.
Really?
Yep, I've had some beers there.
Oh, well, then that's a disagreement that we have, sir.
I'm not
we
a-
must have a gentleman's duel.
I'm not an Odell's fan. I've had some. It's probably because they're more hoppy for you. For me, I don't want the hoppy, so they're not. They make a lot of hoppy beers.
They can. There's that side of it. Okay. To be fair, they don't do a lot of dark beers.
Correct.
They really don't. They do sours very well.
Correct.
And
Well,
they
then
do,
see, that's
right,
why.
Which is
I'm
also,
not, and I'm not doing
it's
hops.
also,
So, okay.
You're doing some hops.
Some hops. Yes. Well, the fourth beer might be double hop, so maybe we'll have
Double
8.5s.
hops. Sorry.
Let's jump into NBA. It's starting up October 24th,
Tuesday.
so in
Tuesday.
3 days.
Kicks off on Tuesday.
Yeah.
8 days.
I think
3 by my count.
as I was sitting there looking at it, going through our top 10, the East seems like it's a 2-team race again. Different 2 teams.
Yep.
Or maybe same 2 teams. And then the West seems like it could be really close, but I think, and Trev's not going to like what I have to say, I think one team is going to take a drop back, even though I don't have them falling too far back. I just couldn't do it, but I am worried that
I have them
that
second.
looks wrong.
I have them second in their division.
See, I didn't go by
Not
division.
third.
I went playoff-wise 1 through 10 because
Okay.
the division, the divisions don't even seem to matter in basketball.
They don't.
Um,
They technically
but
they don't.
continue.
It's just who you play more, I
So
suppose.
did you guys, when you guys were going through it, did it seem like that to you? Like there's 2 teams in the East, and then the West is kind of pretty jumbled again?
Yeah.
Or is there anybody else in the East other than the first 2 teams? I know I'm not even giving the Heat love again, which
Cavs.
Probably gonna get
Cavs.
I have Cavs at
Shout out to
3,
the Cavs. I think
I have
they
Cavs
can-
at 3
they
too.
but
can-
they need Mobley to turn into a scorer.
Sure, but
If
he's
he's a
but he's
scorer-
on his way. He's on his way.
God, I hope
he's
so,
on his way
because you know,
and
guys-
D-Mitch is a fucking animal.
You guys know I
so-
love him. One of my favorite players to watch. But Mobley's got to turn into a scorer. He's damn good defensively. His next step is scoring the basketball from other than just rebounds and putbacks.
Yeah.
He's got to get a shot.
I feel like the Cavs are close, but it's the Celtics and Bucks. It's a 2-team
Yeah,
race.
yeah. I mean, preseason wise, anything can shift. For some reason, I don't know why. Like there were some other teams that were calling out to me. I didn't write them down necessarily, but I feel like Orlando might be one of those like forgotten about teams that can make some noise. They've had some good drafts and some good young players. The Rockets. I know we're talking about the East, but
What
like.
about the Pistons?
Because
I like the one
they've had like 4 top fucking 5 draft
But
picks
he
in the
seems to
last,
get
like,
hurt all the time.
Kate Cunningham.
I really love watching him play when he's healthy, but he seems like
He's
he's hurt
very
all the time.
rare. Like, what is he? We haven't used this motto in a while. But what's our motto? Is your best ability is? Get on the fucking floor.
Because, okay, so then who do you guys have at 4? Okay, wait, hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Who was your guys' 1?
For the East,
Yeah.
Bucks. I think the Bucks have the more complete
Is it because
roster.
see, I don't know. I had a hard time not writing the Celtics, and I
There
did
were
it,
2.
but I couldn't write it because I was like, I can't do it. So I
So
went
you
Boston.
I bet Bucks.
I did Boston.
See,
Okay.
I think that
I think on paper,
Dude,
if
Drew
that
Holiday
team comes together,
Drew Holiday is going to make that team, I think.
that's
I
a
do.
nice roster, man.
I really think Drew Holiday makes that fucking team. His leadership is one thing that we've kind of touted Jason Tatum for not having. I think Drew Holiday brings that
And you
leadership.
still do have fucking
Brown and
yeah,
Porzingis.
Jaylen Brown. I was about to draw a fucking blank on it.
And Porzingis. So
I'm rooting.
I don't think Porzingis has got much to offer.
I don't really. I think
A
it's
distraction,
Drew
but
Holiday.
I don't think he's going to give you 20 and 10. His body style was built for that, but like he's never really been able to. Like he was supposed to be Dirk. He was supposed to be better than Dirk.
But Dirk, dude,
Speaking
so
of,
underrated.
I'm loving that we're in the NBA because I watched some Wemby highlights. Like
He's looking
Yes.
good, dude.
I know we're still in the East, but I honestly think that
Hey,
kid
can you get out of the
is
West
gonna
for
make
a
some
sec,
difference.
dude?
Hey,
slow down.
We're just in the NBA.
With
bro.
with the Bucks, now I feel like they have. Still wish they had kept Drew Holiday and shipped off a Middleton.
Yeah.
But now they have
Dame.
Dame who can score from the outside, and now Giannis that can score from the inside. I just worry that maybe they get in the Suns type of thing by trading all this stuff. They lost some
They're not
pieces
deep
on
enough?
the bench. But I do love the Bucks, man. It's hard to root against Giannis, and I can't do it. And it's hard to root against Dame. I think the Bucks, man, they're awesome.
As
I can't
far
wait
as
to
the
watch
teams
those
in
two
the
play.
East, like that's the team that I think enjoy watching the most.
Hopefully,
I want to watch the
Hopefully it
Cavs
clicks.
grow, though. I do want to watch the Cavs grow.
And
And the Nets.
True. No, good shout out.
Okay.
I do want to touch on that, but I
So
want to
can we-
say
let's
like
roll
real
down.
quick. I
Sorry,
want to
go.
just
Yeah.
touch. I want to finish on the Bucks. Is the idea that like these two players are in a way. Okay, Dame might have not deserved the top 75. Like he was the 75th overall that was capped in this. Like there were a couple of guys that were left out. Dwight Howard was left out and has a way better resume to
Yeah.
be fair. Like, but. It doesn't. What I'm trying to say is like it doesn't mean that it's gonna work. I hope it does. It's
I
the
hope it
best
does.
story.
I hope it
I've
does.
always pulled for Dame. I think Giannis is a fucking beast. Like I like Milwaukee small market. Like that's kind of cool. Like so I want it to work, but it doesn't mean sometimes you can get the dudes and not make it work.
We've
like,
seen it happen.
In all sorts of sports. In basketball, it happens once every couple of years.
I think this is easier though
PG
to work
and
because
Kawhi
you have
the
but
Clippers
they're-
haven't done shit.
But I think this one does because it's Giannis, who's a big, and Dame, that's a guard. Those pick and rolls, and the way those two
It could work
and
nasty.
the work ethic
Oh, it
that
could
those
work.
two are. It's not
Dame's
a
gotta have to
lazy,
learn how to pass the ball just a little bit more, though. Just he is
maybe,
just like
but it's not a lazy person. It's two hard workers.
Dame wants to win too,
Correct.
bro.
Yeah.
Like, this is. I think it's a really good connection. in
That's
that
why I
fact.
think it's
Yeah.
gonna work.
So-
I
So Bucks and Bucks,
right, yeah.
Celtics.
Celtics.
So then your
I
two
don't.
is the
I went
Celtics.
Boston last year. I was high on
Right.
Boston last year. So I mean, it's not. That's the two. Those are the two teams overall. Cavs, an honorable mention. The 76ers with Embiid. Like
So then
he's
who'd you
still
have
a
at
stud.
four?
Yeah,
Hold
it's
on,
got
hold on,
to be.
slow down, let's-
Well, this is the East. Now I'm
I
in the
know.
East. What are we?
I know it's so down. So we got.
I-
so then you're Celtics 2. I'm Celtics 2. Trav's Bucks 2.
Yes.
Everybody has Cavs at 3.
Yeah,
Yes, three,
Correct.
yes.
Right.
Who's 4s? I have Sixers.
Sixers.
Okay.
Heat.
Ooh.
Okay, I want to hear why
You
you
think
got.
emo Jimmy's gonna come in and make
no,
a
I know.
difference?
I think Jimmy's okay, but it's just that they didn't go out and do
Tyler
anything.
Hero's supposed to be healthy, right?
I can't get behind the 76ers at the next spot.
I didn't want to
There's,
put. I
there's
didn't
a
want to
lot
put
of
him there.
adversity is the word I will
And with
use.
everything going on with Harden, that's just going to be a pain in the ass for them.
Supposedly they hooked back up with the Clippers and trade talks recently, but Harden didn't even show up to
putting this down.
practice, dude. Harden is number 1 on Balls and Brews shit list.
Yes, definitely. If my shit list has anybody on it, it's him.
If anybody just one and
Oh,
done.
That's
So you get Heat, okay. Who do you guys have at 5 then?
Let me see. Oh, okay.
I
So
went
what, the
Knicks.
Hawks? No, I have the Knicks at 10.
Oh, I went
think they're going
Knicks.
to take a step
Okay.
back.
I went
6.
There you go.
Okay, I
Just
like
because
how we're all doing.
Embiid-
You had Hawks at high.
Yes,
I like that.
I just like that young core. I
put
even,
them. Okay, I put
even with Trey Young, who just seemingly just
I
jacks
thought,
the ball
dude,
up sometimes it works, sometimes
I thought
it
he
doesn't.
would get traded. I was almost 100%
Because that core behind him, I think, is of more value. To be fair,
Well, and there's always been-
DeJounte Murray is. You need to feature him more.
There
That
was
kid
always
is fucking
beef.
good.
There was always beef with him and either the coach or the ownership. So I thought Trey was out. So we'll see what happens. Maybe that's an in-season trade. Maybe he gets traded for D'Angelo Russell.
I mean,
Okay,
there could be
let's
some
get
interesting trades.
No.
But I,
Dude, that would be sick.
You fucking.
I do
just
kinda like-
stab the Lakers in there real quick.
I
Just
do
go
kind
for
of
it.
like the Hawks running it back just to see, because last year was kind of weird for them.
It was.
They looked so much better the year before.
That's why I put him in 8. I put him in 8. Okay, hold on. We're at 5. 6, I put Nets. I'm still big on them. I just don't know
Yeah,
if they can get
I got the
past
Nets
6.
at 6 too.
Yeah.
I like that.
You got the Nets at
Yeah.
6 too? All right,
Dude,
so
that's a
3
good
and 6
call.
were the same.
Great call, boys. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Well, we talked. Okay, so on
We
our,
love the Nets.
on our exit of
love
the
the Nets.
NBA discussion, we spoke to the idea that if that team can come together, they put together a roster that's got a lot of talent, young, but like
Yes,
a
we
lot
like
of
Bridges, right, from the Suns.
Mm.
We love that he's on that team.
When he got a spot to feature, he was great. He was putting
Loved
up like
it.
30 burgers, dude. He was
Loved
all
it.
over the place.
Okay, so
Dinwiddie is still there, right?
yes,
And he's been playing good. Like,
I don't remember them. I didn't look it up, but I don't remember them getting anybody else in the offseason, right? Did they get anybody else?
no, they didn't really make
Okay.
a splash the way
I
that
didn't
these
think
other
so.
teams did. They're not. Well, they're coming out of an era of trying to make a splash.
I know,
they
but-
have to go
but
more.
even a
more
piece here-
homegrown.
sometimes
no,
even a piece
No,
here
no,
or
no.
Not big piece.
I
Even
appreciate
medium
this
piece.
though because they understand probably what the fan base does not want to see, and what they don't want to see is you grabbing some overage fucking.
Oh no, I was
superstar.
just seeing. I didn't know if they made like even like a medium move.
Not that I can remember.
Number
Or-
7. This is where I have the Heat. I just don't know. They didn't go out and do anything, and they lost. What's
I
his
guess
name?
technically I have to name the Heat. I haven't named them yet, so they got to be at 7.
They lost Gabe Vincent to the Lakers,
Yeah.
and they didn't really. I mean, Hero's healthy, but he was healthy during the season, so he didn't get hurt until the back end of the season. So I just didn't feel like they made enough moves. So that's why I have them at 7. I still love
Wow.
Jimmy and I still love Bam, but I
Right.
can't find I can't find a spot before that because
no Wolfpack love.
yeah, we'll see what Caleb does again. We'll see.
I thought I saw some growth in the playoffs. That's why I had him ranked so high. Is because if he could be that next guy for them, I think that team can be still really good.
There's nothing wrong with that take. He came on at
Yeah.
the most dangerous time of the season.
Yes.
Like, you have to build. There can be flash in the pans, absolutely,
True.
right? You watch it every season, and you're like, this guy going into next year and sink. Like, and it's not to say that you want to see people build. There's nothing better than emerging superstars, right? When there's this like, oh, dude, this guy's gonna be it. He's the next it dude. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. I think that's why. I'm not going to get into it. I was going to say LeBron is so fascinating in the fact that like he's always had to be the dude, and he has been.
Who do you got at 7?
Who do I have at 7? We're
He's
going to
the
have
Heat.
to go with the Bulls.
The Bulls.
I thought
The
you said
Bulls
Heat.
at 7.
Where'd you
We were all on 7, right? So
Yeah.
8. I'm
8.
sorry, we're moving on to 8 would be Bulls.
7 for me. I had the Knicks up there.
Pop, pop, pop. We're backing up. I have the Knicks low, man. I don't know. I don't love, but Jalen Brunson can play.
I love
But
Jalen Brunson.
He's aggressive, and I think that he is the not common. He is the current like John Stark is what he reminds me of, where he's not the best, but his brain, he wants it. Like he's out there competing, and like in a 5-man game that he kind of has a killer instinct. He's not as good as like he doesn't have the Mamba fucking instinct or whatever they call it. But
That's why I have the Knicks at 7. They have that edge.
what about
to
Julius
them.
Randle? What is he gonna do? RJ Barrett? What are they? I don't.
Hopefully
These are
they can play
assets
better.
that should be
Well,
worth
that's
value.
why
but
I have
what
them
are they?
at 5 because I think
5?
in the East
Fuck,
they
man.
beat the teams they're supposed to beat. Wait, do they in the
Okay,
playoffs?
that's
They're a
because
first round
overall the
loss.
East is weak. Overall, I would say the
And
East
that's
is
why
weak.
I put them up there because they beat the teams
Okay.
they're supposed to beat.
All right.
They're gonna have a good record, and then they're gonna
But
lose in the playoffs.
8, I have Bulls.
I have
Yeah, 8 I have
Hawks.
Bulls.
I have Hawks.
Okay.
I have Hornets.
I actually
What?
I have Hornets at 9. I have Hornets at 9.
Oh my God! I left
I have
the Hornets
Bulls. I have
all
Hornets. Okay,
together.
so I'll finish.
I was not a shot. I'm taking LaMelo.
So, I'm just throwing it. Let's go 9 and 10 together since you didn't really make the playoffs. Since the NBA wants everybody in, I went 9 Hornets, 10 Bulls, both missing playoffs.
I went Wizards, Knicks.
Wow,
9-10.
Wizards. Okay.
Wizards, yeah, that's a surprise.
Yeah,
I feel like.
this is okay. That's the team that like they dumped and they're not supposed to be good. They'll backdoor make the playoffs. There's always a team that kind of does that, where it's like they're
Okay.
rebuilding and they
Okay.
sniff success. Jordan Poole, this should be, if he really gets
Him
the
and
opportunity
Kuz?
to go out there, yeah, absolutely. Why not?
I
They
mean,
can be 9.
it's
They can be
possible.
9.
Okay.
That's my
can be
dart.
9.
That's my dart. I mean, come on.
That's your dark horse. I
That's my
gotcha.
dart.
So what's your 9-10, Trev?
I got Hawks Bulls in 9 and 10. So
Okay.
I feel like, yeah, there are teams that have a nice roster, and I feel like with last year, you feel like they should make the playoffs and continue to be there. But I mean, again, we'll see. Those teams that are on the bubble, kind of the last 7 or.
But honestly, I don't think
any.
any of the bottom teams make a difference in the East.
Yeah.
Really.
I put the Heat at 7, so
I guess they could. They shook it up last year, obviously.
All right. This
West.
I can't wait at that.
West is best.
Okay.
West is best.
Start out.
So-
I have number 1 Nuggets. I just
I would
don't
have to
know.
say. I would have to say number 1.
I fell in love with the way they played basketball in the playoffs between the 3 guys at the top.
Murray, Aaron, and Gordon. Murray, Gordon, and obviously Joker.
Well, 4 guys technically. I love your 3 bigs, and I love that Murray's your point guard. I love that they have Porter. I love Porter and Gordon and Djokovic. I think Joker was so fun to watch offensively. I love watching Murray. I think he came into his
Play some
own.
defense, Joker.
So Nuggets are my 1.
Same.
No disagreement there.
Okay.
I think going in,
Across the board, baby.
yeah, they're defending champs and they didn't do anything to downgrade. Right?
Team still looks good.
Yeah.
My number 2 is the Suns.
Mine is 2.
My only thing with them is height worries me because you're going up against the Lake. It doesn't worry me. I mean, I'm a Lake fan. But your height worries me, and then you have a lot of people get hurt on your team. Kevin Durant get hurt.
D-Book's kind of been hurt
I-
recently.
Don't have the Suns at number 2 because I just feel like, that was the thing. I feel like they're going to take some games off. Injuries could be a concern. There is no defense on that team. There could be a little bit of finding their,
Groove.
Yeah,
The way
coming
the way
together.
that they play.
So, for me, I mean...
Go ahead, say it. Say it. You know
Yeah,
you
say
say
it.
it.
I like the Grizzlies.
Oh, I thought you were
See,
gonna
they
go
say,
Warriors.
they start out.
No.
They don't have John
Wow.
Morant for the first 25 games,
It's 25 games.
which I thought should have been more. Let's
But
not
I
be
feel like
selfish.
that team is still young and they're feisty.
I think they go back downhill.
You think they go back downhill? I mean, I kind of hope they do, but I think they can be right
I
there.
do have them winning their division, the Southwest, if you will, but I don't think that because that division.
I have them
is
missing. I
bad.
have the Grizzlies missing the playoffs.
Whoa. Hot take. A little bit.
Whoa, y'all motherfuckers be throwing me shade for some takes. That's as hot as it gets right there. You put it on the wax, Downey. I'm not editing that out.
You don't have to. I called it. I
Oh
don't
my
have- I
goodness,
don't
the
have-
Grizzlies missed the playoffs.
Yep.
Go put money on that. Find a way the anti-bet. Grizzlies not to make the playoffs.
So you had who? 2 the Grizz.
Grizz.
All right, let's go to 3. I had the Kings.
That's where I have the Grizz.
That's where I have the Kings, too. I feel like another young team that's going to keep fighting.
I love watching
They're
that
working
De'Aaron
on
Fox,
getting
dude.
better.
I still want to see some people grow. If nobody else grows, that could be not good.
I think right, and I think that I don't know
Oh,
if he's
that's
going
what
to
you
take that
went?
next step. Well, I think
Ooh.
that's the one that kind of takes a step back.
Why had the Warriors take a step back? Even
Well,
though
no,
they're
because
in the exact
that's
same spot.
I have
The West, man.
I have the Kings
It's a mess.
4th in the Pacific Division. I have them making the playoffs, but I have them low.
All right.
Okay, so number
Which is
4.
crazy.
Who's your number 3 then?
Who's my number 3?
We had the Grizz.
It's Grizz,
It's
yeah.
Grizz,
So
okay,
number
okay.
4 is the Warriors for me.
For me, number 4 is my Lakers. I like the moves they made. I still think there's one more move to be made, and I'm interested to see what happens. I don't think D'Angelo Russell finishes on the Lakers. Unless he's
It's so weird. He was so good for that first little stretch, and he was
he's up and down, and I think sometimes there is other guys out there. I don't mind D'Lo now, but I wouldn't mind. I think that you still maybe make a move at him at some point. But I had Lakers at 4. Trev.
So I have the Suns at 4.
Okay.
The Suns, I feel
forgot
like,
you're wearing. Yeah, I'm
yeah, I'm the only team that has the. Yeah, they already picked the Suns.
I thought they
Yeah,
did
we're
a
number
lot.
two.
in
I'm
the
a little
trade
lower.
I was
deadline.
number 2 on the Suns. Yeah.
I thought they did a lot in the trade.
Yeah, I love Kevin Durant's game is one of my favorites.
Devin Booker, Beal.
Yeah, and the other weapons they have.
As a
on that team, they
Warrior
should be
fan,
good.
you can't do anything but love Kevin Durant. He came there and won 2 chips.
I don't have. I mean, as his personality, I'm not.
None of that matters. None of that matters.
But I agree that yes, he came to my team.
he came in and won,
He
y'all won
won.
chips with him.
I
period.
wish he would have just stayed and played the villain instead of having this like complex where he's got to worry about what
Be his
everybody
own
thinks about him.
man. He's got to be his own man. Got to win a chip without y'all.
Yeah.
No Steph Curry.
So
5. We on
five.
5.
Okay. Here's another big one for you guys. I don't think anybody else has been at 5. I got the OKC Thunder at 5.
Woo!
SGA's
That's
coming
high.
hot. I love the way they played last year. And then what's his name's not going to get hurt. The tall kid from
Chet
Gonzaga,
Holmgren.
Chet Holmgren. Holmgren. I like the way they look. And they have a couple other guys that are starting to blossom towards the end of the year. I got them jumping all the way up to 5. And you guys, I said it last year. I love them, and this year's a growth year. That's my team at 5.
I like their young team, and I think they could maybe squeeze in. But if they do, I think they're closer to the 10 spot. For my 5, I have the Lakers. Again, I love their offseason.
Cosign. That's my 5. Yeah.
I think
Eat a dick, fucking 3 overall. Get out of here.
3? I had them at 4.
Whatever.
You're not going to like what I have to say when about the champions.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
So who do you got?
Yeah, the Lakers. No, yeah, I'm co-signing on 5 for Lakers.
All right,
Yeah,
so
so
6, I put the Warriors.
6.
I have the Warriors too.
And I think that the Warriors, I love Steph. He's one of my favorite players.
That's funny because that's where I'm higher on them than you guys are.
I just think that they've taken I think that they're downgraded, and the only reason I have them up there is because I think Steph can get the wins. I just think they're a first-round playoff loss. I don't think that they have depth, and I'm not sure if they have the big guys to play with the Lakers and or the Nuggets.
I am inspired that Kuminga's looked real good in the preseason for anyone that's watched.
That's what everybody's been. I've been reading.
He's a point leader, 93 points, I think. So
He said Chris Paul's been a big influence on him. Is an interview I saw with him or read.
because my whole angle was I was hoping he would take Draymond's spot, and with Draymond being hurt, he's showed up. Of course, Draymond's gonna take away his time when Draymond's healthy. So,
But you guys still have no height.
yeah,
Zero
the height is
fucking
an issue. Definitely, we're an older team too, which is an issue. That's why I have them.
And if Steph gets hurt for multiple games, you guys are fucked.
Yeah.
I have the Kings at 6.
Damn! Regression.
Regression. Yeah, no, I did. I looked at those.
Degression, not a lot of words. It's regression.
It's
degression.
regression. Yeah, regression. Yeah, I just
Okay.
they were maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong because I was high on the Kings last year.
And I don't want to
praising
say I
them.
hope not, because the Kings are one of those teams that I
But
cannot stand. But I do
the
like
Warriors
De'Aaron
taking
Fox.
the step forward and the Kings taking the step back, and we have reverse predictions.
Yes, we have.
And that happens.
Light the beam.
Number 7, I got the Pelicans. I
Which is
think
funny because
that
you're the Warriors fan.
I think Brandon Ingram, Zion stays healthy, and then
I have
also
the Pels at like 10-ish. They're like 10B for me.
I moved him up because I want to have faith. And I like who came from the Blazers, McCollum.
Yeah, correct.
I just want to
CJ
have faith.
McCollum. No, I
really
know.
want to have
Ingram
faith,
has
and that's
because
why.
he's slowly become a really good fucking player in this league. And
Yes!
he's humble and he plays the game the right way, as it were. He passes the eye test. Like, I can't shit on Brandon Ingram.
And I like McCollum too. So
They're just a little lower on my list. I like that roster, but for me, this is where I went Mavericks. I just think
I didn't even put him
Luka
in. I didn't even fucking put him in because
and
actually,
Kyrie. I just
Kyrie
think that
Irving
offense is gonna be too good.
Hold on. Can we have a sidebar?
Absolutely, it was sidebar.
Is Kyrie Irving on our shit list?
Not mine.
Damn it.
Sorry, I can't. Wow. I'm gonna
Sidebar
have to leave
ended.
that in because
Sidebar
that
ended.
was that. No, wait. I mean, okay, fine. If
Sidebar ended.
I mean, he's on my shit list.
So we can't do it, Chuck. If Chuck doesn't
we
say
said
it, the
unanimous.
rules
We did
have
say
to
it had to be
unanimous.
unanimous.
All right.
I'm sorry. I understand why he's on your guys.
Okay. You don't have to argue your
We're
point.
not going to
If you
say
say
he's
not
not on
yet.
my shit
if you
list.
say no,
He's not on my shit list.
Okay.
He's not.
So Pelican, I have 7. Everybody has. I have Pelicans. You have
Mavericks.
Chuck.
Oh, 7 it's OKC.
Okay.
That's where OKC comes in because I do think SGA is good enough
Dude,
to
I like
propel
watching
it
him
forward.
play.
That's a step forward from 10 to 7.
Yep.
They were 10 last year. Like,
I
God
took the
damn
big
it, dude! I
steps.
hate
took
this
the big
fucking
steps.
team. If I'm gonna use hate, if seriously, like it bubbles me down in the guts as I fucking wear a throwback Seattle jersey. Like
I hear you.
I
don't.
I don't hate any person on the team. I don't hate like I guess the coaching staff or whatever. But like the idea of them and why they are there just
Did we have
me up.
Did we have the talk last week without Trev about you getting the banners, or was that the week before?
Banners? No, that was the week before.
So
With,
Trev
that
did-
was with
okay.
Trev. That was with Trev.
I just didn't know if we needed.
Yeah,
Trev's
no,
opinion.
for sure.
So let's go into 8. I have the Clippers at 8 and just sneaking in, and I didn't really want to put them there. I thought I could fit somebody else there, but I think that Paul George comes out and plays well, and Zubac is that center, and I was big on him with the Lakers. I was glad, or I wasn't glad. I was sad that we got rid of him.
I have the Pelicans for reasons we already kind of discussed.
Mavs.
Mavs.
This is their Luka and Kyrie aren't gonna miss the playoffs.
I didn't have them on the list.
see that happening.
They did last year.
I mean, last year,
Yeah,
sure.
but with like 7 games together, like
No, they came at the trade deadline, and the Mavericks.
the
were
trade deadline's 2/3 of the way through the year,
The
bro.
Mavericks
Like-
were in the playoffs before
and they played their
Kyrie
way
got
out.
there.
Okay, all right.
Well, and they
they
did
were
that
hot.
on purpose, though.
Because
they
they
were
were
hot.
sniffing butt, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so my last 2 for 9 and 10, I have the Grizz at 9 and the Timberwolves at 10. And it would hurt me with the Timberwolves.
9, he's got the Grizzlies at
9, man.
9.
And the
Remember
Timberwolves
that.
at 10. And I
I
wanted
do
to
have
put,
the Timberwolves
and I
missing
like
playoffs,
Anthony
actually.
Edwards a lot, and that's the only reason I have the Timberwolves at 10 is because I think I like it. That's my love for
We
Anthony
are so
Edwards.
different at the bottom of our divisions. I want to hear yours.
For
first.
my bottom, yeah, it covers that too. It's the Clippers and Wolves because of the players that they have.
Dude, you guys, I went so right of that. I went young and I went upstart. I went Jazz Rockets.
Jazz were
see
like
that.
Jazz were like
They
Right there
have
for me, but
length.
I
They
didn't.
can battle, dude. I watched a unreasonable amount of Jazz games last year, considering how bad they were.
Hey
Like,
John, that's cool.
I know
Like,
it, was,
no,
it,
yeah,
it wasn't
yeah.
bad basketball. It's just and like because Fubo has like
Yes.
in our local
Because you get
it's
like
weird.
mountain, we get the
You
mountain
do.
stuff. So
Exactly,
we get
which
Colorado
doesn't
Rockies.
make sense, but exactly.
We get Colorado Rockies.
Yeah.
and
So
we
I
get
watch a lot of Jazz
basketball.
games. It's just that's the basketball that's on. You guys, I fucking
We get all the Knights
love
games.
basketball. I wanted to come back to Seattle so bad. Like
Well, it is. It's just at what point?
I would punch a defenseless human. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. But like, I want to.
That's rough.
I know, isn't it though? I wouldn't. But I
Okay.
think about it.
Let's
I
finish
think-
Let's finish.
I'm a nice human.
Let's
I'm sorry.
finish. Oh mother.
Oh, MFer. No, Utah's up 28-14. Where
Oh,
you at, SC? Where you at,
Let's
SC?
We'll get
let's
to
talk.
that.
Let's call
We're gonna-
finals.
Finals. Who you got?
Not even go through playoffs.
sorry.
Finals.
All right, we're not going to dip back into college football.
Bucks. Lakers.
Okay, hold on.
could
Hold on.
not-
Before Trevor says anything, hold on. Not a sidebar, but a direct question. Homer? Homer?
Partly, I wrote Nuggets first and erased it, and then wrote Nuggets. I do think
Okay,
the
go
Nuggets.
ahead.
Hold on.
Oh.
Keep the sidebar and like if you could put like those little things up around the quotations.
Brackets.
Zach does actually think Nuggets will win, but can't not say Lakers. That's what it would say if you were.
There it is.
quoting
Thank you. Okay. Okay.
So
thank you.
unsidebar.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I love that. That honesty is approved.
I'm looking classic. Celtics Lakers.
No.
Damn, T. That's not even a fandom. Yes. And Chuck, it's the only. Hold on. So if we go back to Nuggets Lakers, the only. I just don't know if is Christian Wood going to become something he wasn't and be able to cover a joke because we saw Anthony Davis not be able to do it. So if Christian Wood can use a talent that everybody thought he could do, but maybe the Mavs didn't use him right and cover Djokovic, yes, Lakers get there. If he can't, we just saw what happened last year.
They got
Joe
wiped.
just saw him.
They got wiped.
Correct. That's so. There's my combo, but I think those two
Wow.
play in the Western Conference.
So add my cherry on top. I think the Nuggets have the better 5, but I think the Lakers are the deepest team in the NBA,
I love the roster. I do.
and that's why I put them in.
Rui and Gabe.
Dude, I'm going. Okay, like as I look at my highlighted teams, okay, so I took the Bucks to win the East, but I think the Celtics are going to make the finals. I think that
you did put Celtics. Yeah, it's hard.
I think the Celtics are going to. They're going to do exactly what you need to do and win enough in the regular season, stay competitive, obviously stay within the talk, and then just grab the NBA by the throat come the playoff team, playoff seasons. You guys aren't gonna like this, and I don't necessarily like this because I'm taking this. You guys took the Suns last year. I'm taking the Suns this year.
If it comes together, I understand
all of the debate on the other side. I think it's gonna click. I do.
I just worry that team is going to end up. Kevin Durant's
bad. They absolutely could end up bad.
And that's the worry with this team too.
But
it's hard. Chris Paul gets injured.
I'm going against the
Draymond's already injured.
But the Suns are the most two-faced team in the league because of the roster they have.
But if they click and this is the quintessential have the dudes, can you make the team?
Yes.
You have the dudes.
They have the dudes.
They have it.
Well, okay, hold on. I don't. Will you guys pull up the roster? So you have Beal, right, is the one.
Okay.
Book is your 2.
I'll find it.
KD's your 3. You got the guy from Portland. I can't remember his name as your 5, but who's your 4? And then I know you got Grayson Allen might be on your bench, right? But I'm worried that they're again height when you have to face Joker.
What do you mean height? They got Bull. They got Bull.
He's not playing against Joker. Come on, that's a joke.
That's my new
KD's going to be on Joker.
And he's going to get dominated again.
No, they don't have anybody.
That's what I'm saying.
We forgot to shout out some. He's a 7-footer.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I got. The guy from Portland.
Watanabe. They snagged Watanabe from the Brooklyn Nets. He ended last year really hot. But Nazir Little, he can make some noise. Damian Lee, Keon Johnson, he's a young boy. They just drafted him. Eric Gordon, old school but fucking great defender. Eric Gordon's a great defender.
Grayson Allen's on that team.
Yes, correct. You're right on that as well.
So I like the guard.
Udoka Abubuike, another 6'11" guy.
So Nurkic, but they still
some
the guard play offensively, defensively not so much.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Book.
I understand. But the Lakers aren't making the finals, y'all.
I don't know.
The Lakers are not making the finals. The Lakers are not making the finals.
That's why I was like, you want to go have some of that final bet because I like the odds right now.
Bet it up.
I'm there. Whenever he's ready.
So
whenever he's throwing out the other half.
Let's get to what Chuck was saying. Utah is crushing SC 28-14.
Oh my
Except
God.
SC just shooted a huge play. Hopefully get a score. We got
don't rub on it. Number 16.
A minute 32
celebrate.
left in the third.
A lot of time
in
left.
the second here. We'll get the Fresno, Florida State Duke game. It was 2017 still, right?
Yes.
Duke's looking to go in here though. Did they go in? Is this what we're reviewing?
That's wait.
Incomplete.
No, they're waving it off incomplete.
So Florida State has the ball. 2017 start of the fourth quarter. But we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to hit. Trev didn't get to talk about the big games of NFL next week, so we're going to run through those. See if anything changed. Maybe games have changed.
Why not? Yeah, let's absolutely do that. And then we got our common sense and our fandom. We love that shit.
Dude, we got another good comments. We're going to pick up Trev's thoughts.
Another
common sense last week.
Just a little touch on.
Yeah, I think it was a good convo, and I'd like to hear Trev's thoughts on that convo.
We'd like to hear your combos.
Yeah, definitely. And then, so we're going to take a break. We'll give you guys updates throughout these games. These are huge implications. Florida State in number 4. Huge implications.
Dude,
Utah,
Come
USC.
on, as a Husky fan, we don't kick off till 7:30. We're almost there.
But no, I got to root. I do got to root for
You
Florida
can
State
root for
because I don't want
whoever
another.
you
I don't want another SEC.
Go Huskies.
I don't want another SEC. Well, I think you deserve to be there. I think you will be there.
I hope so. I don't know. We got to not lose. And we got to win the Pac-12. Yeah, absolutely. At this point, we're making pace because we had that. We get to hang it over Oregon.
What's your thoughts of this guy, Jordan Travis?
I think that he's gonna make enough waves to fucking get prospects.
He's a junior?
Yeah, I think he's a junior.
But I don't think he's high enough. He's not really being mentioned right now, right?
Not for draft.
So maybe You ball this year.
And go behind Shadur or whatnot.
Florida State is a notorious party school. Stay one more fucking year in college. Party your balls off.
Yeah, you'll be a higher quarterback pick next season. With
Build your resume.
This year.
Build your resume. Yep. Now it's a tough decision, but if you're like a Matt Barkley or a Matt Leinart where you're like top 5 and you come back, right? Exactly. No, go then. Go then.
Now
but you're not top 5, right? It's all of these
and
things.
This year's quarterback class is fucking outrageous. You're top 3 are Caleb, Drake, and Michael, depending on which way. Oh, Trev, hold on. Let's go to this combo. I forgot to bring this up.
Sidebar.
Last week we talked about Drew.
Don't hurt nobody.
Orlovsky. He said that Drake was his one, and then Ryan Leaf said that Penix was his one. Anything on either of those saying like? Again, North Carolina's had a close game. We'll actually have to give that up.
Well, no, it's okay. Everything is still Caleb 1, right?
Yeah,
like that is the overarching narrative.
I think so. Does Penix get to 2, or does Drake stay at 2?
I think Drake stays at 2. Penix is 3. I think that's how it goes.
Is it set in your mind?
Yes, because well, I'm sorry.
And you?
Well, it's only because I want Penix to go at number 1. Yeah. It's because he's stationary. Yeah. He's a pocket passer. He's the Tua. The guy has great pocket presence. He can get out. He can roll, but he's not.
I think he's got a better arm than Tua.
Penix has had a better season this year, but I think May's the higher prospect. So I still have
the athleticism. I'm sorry, Penix. I fucking love you. Left-handers are also dicey in the NFL.
Did you hear?
So he's my guy. I'll fucking go to bat for him. I guess if I'm talking objectively, the higher prospects are Williams and May.
So I heard somebody. I don't remember what show it was on.
Penix ball.
Talked about that.
Let's win a chip. Let's fucking go.
Offensive quarterback. Some offensive coordinators don't want left-handed quarterbacks because they don't want to change
your argument. They have to. They have to flip a lot of things that they're doing.
Yeah,
a roll left versus a roll right is different. It just is. Like it's not pitching. It's not pitching where you want both. Lefties are actually valued in the MLB, or in the NBA is fine too because it doesn't affect the other players.
Quick update: in the NFL, Florida State goes in for a score to make it 24.
Tua is proving that. And what week is it? What week are we going into?
24. Oh, hey, they kept on his feet.
What week are we going into?
Hey, he's up on his feet. They kept on his feet. That's a good job by them.
Shitting on Tua. He was shitting on Tua.
No, I said he was good. I just didn't think he would last. I said he was good. I didn't think he would last.
We poked the bear a little bit, right? We like to do it.
Florida State just scored to go up 24-20. We're going to take a break. Refill our brewskis.
It's all done. That was good. I'm thirsty, y'all. Saturday.
And then we're going to come back with NFL this week, and we're going to throw in a couple of top 5 games to look forward to in a week. But we're going to hit about 5 games this week, hit 5 games next week. And then come back with some common fucking sense.
All right.
See you guys in a little bit.
All right.
Welcome back to Balls and Brews. Cheers, boys.
Dude, cheers, money. This is brought back by you.
So I picked this up on my trip. This was up in Victor, Idaho. Went out to Yellowstone.
Fuck. That's excellent.
This was the favorite of the trip. Had about 10 beers or so, 2 different ones. This one, it was the winner.
So it's an Imperial stout, and not a barrel aged. See, this is the difference between this is why it's drinkable at 9.5 because it's technically not within a whiskey or a bourbon barrel age. But the fact that they got it to 9.5 is deep for a stout. We've talked about this before.
That's tasty, dude.
It's not to say that you can't go even deeper into them, but some 5, 6 is not above average for a stout.
Yeah, but really, I mean, of course, on
straightforward can, nothing too fancy. Just they know the beer's good, right?
It's a delicious brewski, bro.
Deep. It's very deep. That is something I can say. And even though it doesn't necessarily hold any form of head, still had a fucking really good mouthfeel. Full, good body. Delicious.
Yeah, it was a sweet brewery too.
Then you called it Victor, Idaho. That's where they got.
So it
had it right off the fucking drip. That's nice.
Yeah, it was
nice.
Definitely still had all the fall color trees, but then the pine and the mountains in the back. For a lot of farmland out there. It was beautiful. I posted a little video on Instagram if anyone's interested on my own. But yeah, it was awesome time. Yeah.
Let's
I
go.
guess.
All right, so welcome to week 7 of the NFL season, right? We're going to review this real quick. We got a couple of games that we touched on last pod that we're also going to touch on this pod just to give you our overview. Maybe things have changed, injuries have come across the board in some of these games.
So we thought Thursday night would be a big game to see if the
We did touch
Jags would
on it,
keep
right.
a roll going or if the Saints could take control of the division or show us something. Saints offense doesn't look good, whether it's Carr or the play calling. Jags get another win. Jags are starting to find the rhythm. It wasn't even a very pretty game for them, and they still come out with a dub. I think it's just another big win for the Jags to keep that momentum going. Saints, it's a bad loss. You guys got to figure something out offensively, whether it is the offensive coordinator or whether it's Carr. But something's got to change on that offense. Chuck.
What you got, money?
I really don't have much for that game.
Fair enough. I think you're underselling the second half in that game was actually pretty fun. The first half was a snooze fest, and then both teams kind of woke up and they battled to the end. And unfortunately, Foster Moreau dropped a wide open corner out to potentially
Feel
tie
bad
the
for
game.
him. Feel bad.
It was as open can get. And yeah, so the Jags did win that game, but the Saints. You touched on this multiple times last week about how they can't block a soul, and Kamara, for what it made it work a lot in the passing game. That
91 yards.
He was very efficient in the passing game. Big wins for the Jags, though. It is 5-2.
Keeps that momentum going. Correct.
They're gonna run away with the South at this point, I think. Right? The
I
AFC
do
South
too.
doesn't have
Seems
much to
like
offer behind that.
I think that they're starting to find that rhythm, and they're winning a game that where your quarterback's beat up, short week. It's just what good teams do.
Sure. Next up.
Next big game of the league. I think we got to touch on it because it's a division game, and Saints losing, being 3-4, is the Falcons and Bucks. Falcons are 3-3. Bucks are 3-2. Bucks get this win. It makes them 4-2. It puts them 2 games over.
Kind of a big deal.
And
That's
it puts
a
them
good
2
record.
games over the Falcons and 2 games over the Saints.
Right.
It's in Tampa, so Falcons are coming in. It kind of falls on how Bucks haven't been able to do much on first down and second down. I think Baker's actually excelled down there this year and kind of brought that team along. If you look at their running game, it hasn't been very good. It's kind of been Baker making plays. I actually
speaking
think
so highly.
right, I'm not a big Baker guy. I think it comes down to if Ritter outplays Baker or if Baker outplays Ritter in this game. And the Bucks got a good D. So if Ritter can play against that D, I think the Falcons win. But
There's so much rumored talent down in Atlanta. They're so frustrating because they should be putting it together, right?
Correct.
They got to move on from Ritter, right? Right? I know Heineke is Heineke, and you don't want to really be in the mushy middle. At this point, you kind of want to commit to kind of losing some games because you're going to have to creep to the top of the board to get where you want to go in the draft QB wise. But
That's kind of how it's looking.
or trade Ritter now. Kirk Cousins would be a Justin Fields. You can flip some things for what's going
with
on.
the rookie classes coming in, I don't know if you want.
But then you got to bomb. Then you got to eat. Then you got to eat turds. There's some bad teams in the NFL.
But there's a lot of
this
guys
year.
coming in though.
Right. We've talked about 5 to 7 solid potential first round picks.
Next game on the list, Lions Ravens. And it's because it's Lions at
That's a great
Ravens-
matchup with the way
One of the
both
better
teams are
ones.
playing. Yeah.
The Lions go into Ravens and win really shows that they're becoming elite. Ravens, I think, just need to win because I don't think they're very good. I think they've come away with some wins, and I think they've beat some bad teams. They really haven't
They
looked
lost
very
to
good.
the Texans too.
They really haven't looked good. What's your guys' thoughts on that game?
My thought is
Oh,
really
not the
for
Texans. I'm sorry, that's week 1. Go ahead.
Baltimore, that offense really hasn't come together how I thought it would. And
It's very pedestrian.
if it does, I still think that team can be elite.
The growing pains have been real. There was not an instant click. Yes, John Harbaugh's still a great steerer of the ship. I don't count him out to get things right as the season wears on, but it's not clean right now. That defense is where it's at right now. They're keeping them in games for sure. Like Lamar kind of disappears. He's he's not awful, and he's healthy, so he's still a threat. But he hasn't put up those eye-popping numbers just yet.
Well, times have been running the ball.
Oh, well, they can't run the ball. They're on like their 7th fucking running back again. Like they have terrible, history with running backs getting hurt. It's unfortunate there. But that is a marquee matchup overall, just because the Lions got the juice right now. Like 5-1,
Lions
right?
going to get a dub there, man. That's fucking clean.
Yeah,
come out
going
6-1.
into a stadium you're not necessarily familiar with a hostile defense. Like that's going to be some hard nosed football. It's going to be biting kneecaps.
And I think the Lions defense has really improved. Get that motherfucker. God damn it.
Yeah, we're
Did you get
watching.
him? No.
No,
Not-
you just got the
31,
field goal range.
32,
5 seconds
left. Oh my
Fuck,
god.
get on the ball. Don't get on the ball. Don't get on the ball. Don't
Okay.
get on the ball. No timeout. They're not call. They call timeout.
They're
Fuck
gonna have
me.
to, of course they are. Why wouldn't they?
Fucking
They're not gonna. Yeah,
bullshit.
just run it out.
Okay, so better news. Next big game of the week, I think you got to go all the way down to Chiefs and Chargers.
We're
And
skipping a lot of games, dude.
And I think that's because if the Chargers lose, they're 2-4.
Big time.
If Chiefs lose, okay, they're 5-2. I think if the Chargers lose, you're 2-4, and that's like, dude, you're crawling out a hole, dude. That's a big hole to be crawling.
Staley's got to be called into question.
On the Balls and Brew, or on the
That's
Balls
a
and Brews
shit lister.
Shit lister.
That's a shit lister.
I knew it.
Yeah, that one's across the board. He's so irritating. That guy, I just don't get it. He's the failed Mike McDaniels. Mike McDaniels really is fucking coming. That's your coach of the year right now, for sure. I don't even think it's close. I think it's a runaway with what he's done in Miami. Now, if this Eagles game doesn't go according to plan, preview, by the way, a little foreshadow, I'm sorry. Let's finish with the game that we were on.
So that's Chiefs and Chargers.
Herbert, you got a ball. Herbert,
He
you got to win this game.
didn't play very good on Monday.
You got to put this on your fucking shoulder. Herbert, you got to do this. You are the dude. They're giving you $95 million a second. Like, you got to fucking play better. I know it's not that much, but I'm just saying, like, we talked about last week, Downey, about how he's got, like, the prettiest balls. He's one of the smoothest throwers of the ball. Right, and they lose games consistently.
He wasn't very accurate last week, which is very surprising.
Okay, so, bad
surprising.
game there, I suppose.
Probably the last big game of the week is a Sunday night game. Dolphins-Eagles is kind of
Huge
more of a
game.
flexing muscle type game.
That could be a potential Super Bowl matchup. The
Well,
way
you
that,
got
like, things
speed
are
versus pounding. You got the speed of the Dolphins offense versus that pounding defense, and then the Eagles pounding offense. And last week, Eagles haven't looked good offensively. Can the Eagles get back on track, or is this just going to be a thing all year without Shane Steichen? Is this just going to be a thing where their offense kind of just looks, it doesn't ever look great. It just kind of looks okay, and then bad, and then they really haven't looked good all year.
I compare it to Baltimore, what we talked about earlier. Just the offense should be better. It's not quite clicking yet. Obviously some changes are going to have to happen for it to start clicking, because it's just doesn't look right. Chuck, what do you got?
Dude, I think we just touched on Mike McDaniels, but also Nick Sirianni's been doing his thing in Philly. They're both really good head coaches right now. The Eagles just got back to health, right? They brought back they got some defenders that came back, but Miami. Oh God! All right, let's pick a side here. Miami. I think Miami goes into Philly and makes some noise. I think they overpower them with speed past that bruising defensive line. I think that Tua can get rid of the ball quick. He sure can. Like he has proven that, and he's above market value in accuracy as well. Like a lot of people, have some negative things to say about him, but I think that they'll adjust the game plan, and I think Miami wins that game.
I think Eagles get done.
Okay.
Eagles get done.
You just commented on the fact that the Eagles don't have their offense clicking right now. You think the defense is that good that they're going to hold them?
I think the Eagles get.
So what's your final? Because I'm thinking like a 31 to 24.
31-28. Trev?
I think I'm a little bit more with Chuck this week. I think Miami pulls out a close win.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's how you feel, Donnie.
Some bad stuff just went final. USC 32, Utah 34.
Final.
It's just so fucking irritating.
Dude, because Utah looked so bad against Oregon State, and the fact
Still
that they
without
put up 34.
Cameron.
They put up 34 against it. You guys can't beat that team. Not right now.
No,
This current-
haven't. It's been a struggle.
You've been 0-3 in your last 3 attempts.
We're gonna jump right actually into week 8. Chuck, what games on week 8?
All right, so there is only really, we talked about this leading into here about which games might impact some shit, and really there's only we were looking at 5. There's a lot of matchups.
Well, it's
in the
either good
NFL.
versus really bad that there's no reason to talk about it, or it's bad versus bad.
Because
There's
what
no
ends
point.
up happening is those games could be worth their salt. Like, there could be a huge upset, but, like, we're not going to preview what perceives to be a really bad team
Correct.
versus a really good team. It's not to say that some of those upsets can't happen, but, like, Zach Wilson wouldn't beat the Eagles, 80 times out of 100. That was 1 out of the 20 times.
Correct.
But anyway, first game up is Bucks versus Bills. Bucks in Orchard Park, New York. Before it gets too gnarly, this is good for the Bucks. They don't want it snowing in New York when they go and visit.
This game's big.
It can be
Because
if Tampa
Bucks-
Bay wins this week.
Right, Bucks win. Can you keep it rolling? This game is big for the Bills to make sure they keep on winning, because you have the Dolphins on their team.
Allen's got to keep his fucking foot on the gas. Allen's got to keep his foot on the gas.
Yeah.
Next up, Rams versus Cowboys. Now, this all depends on if the Rams win this weekend as well. If they drop again below 500, and like the Cowboys, what do we think about the Cowboys overall? I mean, honestly,
I think that offensively, they are very lacking.
okay.
Brandon Cooks was a factor last week. I'd like to see that more. Not really sure if CD is an elite receiver. He's their one, but
He had 2 really fucking solid years back to back, and then this year's been
And then
sneaky.
defensively losing Van Der Esch and the corner Diggs has really shown.
I didn't know they lost Van Der Esch.
Yeah,
I did not know that. Shit.
for a couple games.
Okay. Well, you want to give some love to the Cowboys, Trev?
I mean, not
No.
much, but
I
was
Dak
just,
is underperformed and Mike McCarthy's undercoached.
I was kind of going to go to Mike McCarthy there, just with the offense. Just like you were saying, it just hasn't looked as good as predicted.
Is that Kellen Moore?
I mean, I don't know, because it's hard to tell with the Chargers.
I know. Well, the Chargers were the only team until last weekend, right? On Monday to score 24 points in every single game at least.
I hate to put it this way, but fire Staley.
What's the next game, Chuck, that we're going to...
Seahawks versus the Browns. So it's technically the Browns at the Seahawks because we're at home. We need to come off
Who
of
do you
a
have
loss.
this week?
Huh?
Who do you have this week?
That's what I'm saying, the Browns.
No, this week. 7.
Oh, the Cardinals.
Cardinals, that's all we've been talking
Yeah.
about. Okay.
No, which, real quick, Seattle, come on, baby. Like, that's a
Lose
game.
this game.
We have a lot recently. Out of like the last 12 years, the Cardinals have beat us like 7 at home. They've won more in our house than they should. So division games are tough. Get it done. But no, the preview for 8 is Browns at Seahawks because the noise that Cleveland made handing Purdy his first regular season loss was
Making number one
is that a
defense.
big deal? That's got to be a big deal, right? Like a little big deal. Trev, how do you feel?
I feel like the Seahawks are going to win that game. I think the Browns got up for that game, and the Niners did not. I haven't really touched on that yet. To get back to the Niners last week going against Cleveland. But I don't know. I don't know if it was playing the Cowboys the week before. I don't know, like, if it was the effort, the team not clicking, the new DC. Like, I was traveling, so I didn't get to watch my game. I just caught bits and pieces. You guys watched. What did you think? Did you get an impression one way or the other?
I mean, to be fair,
defense dominated your offense.
Myles Garrett was a monster. Brock Purdy looked like he came back down to earth for the first time. The system didn't work for him, and like it broke down. And it's not to say Purdy's a good quarterback. I mean, it's his first loss in 10 or 11 games in the regular season. 12.
Yeah,
12
but it didn't
games,
look
like-
good, and then.
But he looked. It all looked bad. The
Ayuk had a
offense.
bunch of drops.
Devo got hurt. Devo got hurt. Like I
He's
mean,
gonna miss the next 2 games.
Christian got hurt.
Christian got hurt. So, I mean-
Ayuk dropped the football.
The Niners still had a chance to win. Moody missed a long field goal in the first half. It's like
Yeah, he
54
missed
yards,
2.
and then the one at the end of the game with 6
oh
seconds
my
left.
God,
Chuck
dude.
was jumping up and down like a
I
little
was
school.
I was
That was
so
right
happy.
before he started
I
the
can't
pod.
lie. I will not lie. Dude, it's because it keeps us one game out.
I'm not overall in the big picture though. I'm not too worried. You're gonna have those kind of games. I'm just, since I didn't get to see it, I just was kind of questioning what. I got the impression that the defense didn't really come out as good as they could have for the Niners, and then the offense had its issues with the injuries. And I know there was turnovers on both sides.
Great catch, Nevada.
But
Sorry, we're watching more live
No,
sports.
football can football. That's what I was talking about with Aaron before that game went off. I was like, "There's
Yep.
no way you let." And the craziest thing was that PJ Walker was
Yep,
the
it
starter,
wasn't
wasn't
even
Deshaun
Deshaun.
Watson, right?
Yep.
Like, and he didn't even have a great game. He had 2 picks. Like, it was
Correct.
a weird fucking game. To be fair, it was
Well,
just
the Niners offense did absolutely nothing.
no, yeah. Purdy did diddly do. I mean, that is.
Ooh, big
That's one of the most frustrating games when your quarterback does absolutely nothing.
He didn't
100
have-
and some odd yards.
He didn't
I
even
think,
have break 100 yards until
to
the
the
last
fourth
drive.
quarter. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it was rough. It was probably better that you didn't watch the game, Trev. Like, to be fair.
spared
What's-
itself.
what's
Yeah,
the-
those games are so frustrating.
What's the next game on the list there, Chuck?
Next one up is Bengals at the Niners for reasons that. So Bengals are coming off a big win against Seattle at home.
Do they have a bye this week, or they have a bye this week for Joe Burrow getting healthy, right? Is
No.
this their bye?
No, oh yeah, that's correct.
7?
Because you have Chase for fantasy. We
Yeah.
play each other, and he's on a bye. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's big. They come off the bye, have the Niners all, going to have all week to look at them. So there'd be another tough test for the Niners.
Traveling to Santa Clara, like normally when teams make that big of a hop, sometimes that can matter.
I do like that defensive line against the Niners offensive line, though.
They closed out the game against Seattle impressively well.
Correct.
That's the reason.
Those 2
why.
dudes they have are amazing.
Yeah, it was frustrating to
So-
watch.
Being that I missed most of that game, how did Burrow look? Did he look like
More
Burrow?
mobile. Not quite, but more mobile.
He
Still
looked
looked great.
very like he's right there. Like
getting there.
there were a couple of downfield, like
90%?
yeah, there you go. He was mobile enough. He didn't look shaken. He didn't take a lot of hits. Like he was stepping up. He was doing what he needed to. Throws decently downfield, not bombs, but like no, he was good. Dude, our secondary's coming together, man. We're playing some good ball. Like our offense fucked us that game. It wasn't our defense. We gave up only 17 points, dude. Jamar Chase only had like 6 catches for like 57 yards.
was
Like
very, very pedestrian.
he was bad. He threw 2 very unforced picks. Is what changed the course of the game. But
I mean, with the Niners-Bengals, though, this is definitely a game that could go either way.
it could, yeah. I mean, obviously the Niners have shown that unfortunately they can have weak games. Up until that point, they looked not flawless, but the best team in the league. I mean, and it's not to say they might still not be, but there's obviously faults there, or like people have teams have bad games, man. The best of the best, there's one undefeated team, and it hasn't happened since 1972, right? Like,
Yep.
come on. So that says something about that.
Offside
And the last
strategy.
one that we're touching on is the Monday Nighter, because it may matter if the Raiders win this week, even though Brian Hoyer's going to start.
I know. That's my fan. That's my
So
fan.
Raiders versus Lions.
It'd be a great win for us. I don't know if that's a pretty tough. That's a pretty tough task.
Because if the Lions come out and
it's
beat Baltimore this
it's
week.
it's in Detroit too.
It's in Detroit, yes.
That's a
Ford
tall
Field.
task for
Ford
us.
Field.
It'd be a huge win for us. Again, if the Lions keep
It'd
rolling,
be
that would
insane.
put them at like 7-1 at that point. 6-1 this week if they get the win. 7-1 next week. So
Wow,
that really put the Lions
that would be
rolling.
crazy, right? I mean,
Correct.
it's very feasible.
Correct.
It's not out of the realm of possibility. So those are really the big games. I mean, always be on the lookout for all of the games. There could be a lot of explosive plays that happen within those.
Before we go to break, we do have to give an update. Phillies won.
Yep, sure
Going
did.
3-2. What was that score? Chuck?
6-1.
6-1.
6-1 Phils.
And going up 3-2 in the bank, we just talked about it earlier in the pod. Dude, that's gonna be a rough pull for the D-backs boys, man. That's a rough going. Have to go in there. And
They're
win
not
two.
gonna get both, right? They're not.
Well,
Gonna
I
get
don't
both.
think
Well,
so.
I mean, I'm not gonna knock because it's annoying when you hear the boom.
I don't even know if they get. I don't even know if they get to one. Honestly, Chuck, you go in the bank. Philly's got the momentum going home.
Which is why they blow this game, right? The MLB's like, just blow it.
They wanted to, but who knows if that happens.
No, Philly should win. Philly should.
Did we want to touch on like our picks for our bets this week?
Hey, we do. I think this parlay is gonna hit. I do knock on wood once again. I really think this is the best 3 that we've put together in a while.
Because
That's what
we
we said
talked
also.
about a little bit about the games earlier. Like,
Right.
I took
So
Lions and covered the
Detroit,
3.
right? I took the Rams to beat the Steelers or to cover against the Steelers, which is like 1.5, 2.
And your thoughts on like those games and why you made those picks?
I think the Lions are on fire, and I don't think the Ravens' offensive is gonna click.
Can't disagree.
And I think that Kenny Pickett is too inconsistent, even though the not Detroit, but the Pittsburgh defense is good. I don't think that
Coming off the bye.
Yeah, right. But Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. Now, granted, the thing is they have no running game right now. They just signed Darrell Henderson off their practice squad, which they just signed him to the practice squad. Like
Who's it gonna be? Is it gonna be Henderson? Is it gonna be the rookie?
who knows? I don't think they know.
Zach Evans is another back.
Zach
they
Evans is
have.
right.
That's not
There you
bad.
go. That's the one. Yeah, exactly. So why not? Why not see what he's got? He's young and fresh. Might as well. A running back knows what to do.
Usually.
If you
It'd
can
be
give him a hole,
blocking,
if
it'd
you
be
can
the-
give him a hole, the running back should know where to go.
where
Unless
to
you're
go.
Trent Richardson. What a waste of a pick, man. How did he make it at Alabama? That guy. Look up some classic Trent Richardson memes, man. He missed some open assholes.
I went with Green Bay on the parlay.
That's right.
I just thought
It was a pick'ems against the Broncos.
as Pick'ems, I felt like coming off a bye, they were a better team at this point in the season than the Broncos. I think the Broncos are getting better, but I just thought with Green Bay having that bye,
I also just like a coin flip, right? Like it's
Yeah.
kind of nice when it's just like -1 either way. You're just like, okay, so somebody's just got to win.
So we're gonna take a break. Come back. Common sense and fandom.
Boom, our favorite.
Trev, you got a beer?
I'm
Welcome
ready.
back to Balls and Brews. Cheers, boys.
cheers. Again.
Same beers.
We're gonna jump right into common sense and fandom. Common sense this week is actually we want to touch back to last week. Last week, Trev, me, and Chuck had a more conversational common sense. It was about if you're in the locker room as a reporter and you hear players saying stuff and it's not like malicious or racist or they're gonna kill somebody. Do you report it like if they're making fun of another player or if they're calling a player or something that's not like malicious? Do you report that or does that just stay in your pocket?
I think that should stay in your pocket. I don't think that. I mean, I understand it's a great headline, but that's not going to help you be a reporter for the team going forward. That's not a way to approach, I think, business. It is a business, and it's got to be on the record.
That's what me and Chuck both said too.
Yeah, it's shady, dude. How are you gonna work your way? How are you gonna build trust when it's like, yo,
Oh,
I didn't-
good. You got that one headline. Now the team won't let you around them, and now you can't.
There's
get
that
the
too,
inside.
right? Yeah, exactly. You can
Good job.
sabotage yourself
Good
real
job.
quick by doing that shady shit.
Okay, so this week's is kind of on the same lines, more of a conversation. Is it common sense going for it on fourth down in certain situations? When is a yes, I understand that that go for it on fourth down? Like, is it when you pass your 50? Is it when you're kind of in that rough range?
I
What
would
is your-
honestly say that there's like basically 2 times where it's acceptable and 1 time where it's like mandatory. There's really not like however much. I'm not an NFL head coach, right? It's about the ebbs and flows of the game sometimes, and I get that like sometimes it's really ballsy and it pays off and it sparks the drive and you score and it's totally worth it and those decisions go down in NFL history. Sometimes it's awful, you turn the ball over or you get a sack or whatever and you give the ball in terrible field position and it's like, why the hell did this person go for fourth down? It's all about the outcome, right? The decision at the time is always ballsy, but like I think that, okay, so 4th down. You should go for it when you have to, not like if you feel like it's in. When you're in the mushy middle of like way long field goal, you don't gather that much from a punt, and it's like 4th and 2, 4th and 3. Like that seems feasible to me. And a short 4th down within an area, if you punt, your net gain isn't that much, right? Let's fucking go for this. If we turn it over, they get the ball at the 40. Like not the greatest, but not the worst, right?
I'm in agreement with you there.
That's about it for me.
I would just add on like 4th and 1s. I'd probably be going for every time.
4th and 1, no matter what, no matter where you're at.
Even on your side of the field?
What if you're on like the 17? Your 17.
Like Brandon Staley on the 25 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
I think it'd be hard not to sometimes. You just have your guys in that building the whole time. It's just 1 yard.
But I think it's
I am never going for that unless it's like the last minute of the 4th quarter and it's like we have to score.
I think it's super situationally with how you're like I do when you have to go, you have to go. You don't do it on your side.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't ever do it on your side of 50 unless it's like maybe inches, maybe. Otherwise, it's an easy punt. You give momentum away by losing a 4th down. There is a thing called momentum. It is real. I also think that when you are dominating in a certain facet of the ball where your offensive line has been blowing the defensive line off all the time and it's 4th and inches, I think it's an easier call to run it, there. But also, if you're not running the ball good there, then you need to also adjust the way you're play calling. You can't, 4th and inches, we're just going to run it. It doesn't always work. So sometimes your offensive line's getting blown up. There's no point in going.
Sure, I agree with all that, but I think if you're the Eagles and you figured it out, then you just keep doing it.
I mean, their ratio is fantastic at that play. Whether you agree with it or not, I guess that's a debate for another pod. But like, I don't know. I try to play on the area of caution and the idea that like try to extend the game, try to position yourself.
Are you taking field goals every time you're in field goal range?
Well, I mean, it depends on once again the situation.
But like, you're not 4th.
Yeah. Oh, dude, if it's not the 4th quarter, field goal. If it's not, pretty much, dude, don't chase the points until you have to. If you start giving up touchdowns and like you're down 3-28, with 7 minutes left in the fucking 2nd quarter, like maybe you should start considering where you should, start pulling the string a little bit, like. But if it's reasonable, if it stays within 1 to 2 possessions, yes, you're field goal every time. I'll take 12-21 going into the 4th quarter versus going for it and not getting 2 field goals and going in 21-6 or something like that, right? Kick the field goal. Don't chase the points until you absolutely have to. That goes with going with it on 4th down. Punt. And for the Seahawks, we have one of the best punters in the league. We call Michael Dixon our best offensive weapon. He's our most consistent. Like, he 100% will pin you 50 yards backfield. He's great. I don't want to see him. The best games are when he's only on the field once. Like, but,
sure.
That's...
All right, let's jump into Fandom. Trev, why don't you go ahead and lead it off after that? Sip that beautiful beer.
All right. Well, I mean, in the news this week was that in the 2028 Olympics in LA, there's going to be a flag football. And that caught my attention. I was like, what? NFL players participating? This could be interesting.
The rumor was that the NFL was encouraging current NFL players to play flag football for the United States.
I mean, if that's going to happen, I'm going to watch.
How do you feel about that?
Can we get like our top All-Americans to do it instead?
Because
that'd still be a great team.
This is different than like baseball or basketball where there's professional leagues in other countries.
Nobody else does this.
Yeah, we're the only country that professionalizes this kind of football, and we have a hold down on regular like flag football. Are you kidding me? You're gonna put NFL athletes out there against regular people from across the world to play them at flag football?
And
what would be entertaining about that?
Flex.
What time do the Olympics
take
place? Wait. What time do the Olympics take place during?
What do you mean?
What months?
It's
The summer months,
right?
I think
Summer Olympics.
So do you want your guys out there playing before preseason?
I mean,
There's not going to
It's
be
for
any
the US.
injuries in the fucking.
There's a chance
flag.
that injuries
I
happen.
guess if you
sure.
cramp, if you fucking
Injuries can
dehydrate.
happen.
What happens if you have a
anytime.
soft, like a blow?
That's the same argument they used to keep players out of, like.
Yeah, but we're
the
gonna
NBA.
we would
Or the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah.
We talked about that earlier on the
we
pod.
would dominate. I don't think that the pros.
No, but I even think I think our fucking Division 3 players are gonna beat the rest of the world. Put the people who are already the elite in the flag football.
Because
realm.
isn't there
I
flag
say
football
we can
leagues?
have both.
Absolutely.
Give me the
I
best
just
of flag
like-
football. Give me
Dude,
a couple
Josh
pro
Allen
athletes.
out there
just
with
give me
flags on his hip. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you
I
ain't
want to
gonna
see
touch
a
him.
variance. I want to know the difference. You don't want to see that gap?
We
I
already
thought I
see
know
that.
what it is, Trev. It's a lot to nothing.
But
But
you know the
It'd
gap.
be great to watch.
it wouldn't. It just no. Victory is sweet when it's against an opponent that is worthy. Beating the world to hang your wiener around isn't exactly like, woo, we got a gold medal.
We need to inspire other countries to step
Just
up the game.
To really get actual football.
We could beat them in flag football.
We can beat them.
I-
I'm not even sure if the rest of the world knows the rules just yet. Like, I mean,
Exactly.
golly, man, Trev, I'm all for dominance of the United States, but on an even playing field, is I suppose my argument. But I love.
You and your participation trophies.
Oh,
I mean, when you put it in that sense, it's the best in the world, and we can put up a lot better than you if you're putting it as an Olympic sport.
Who hates the '92 Olympic Dream Team? Who hates them? Tell me.
I'm sure the
Tell me.
Lithuanians that we absolutely crushed. They averaged.
The
they
other countries that lost, you
beat
mean.
every
Okay,
team. Yeah, right,
okay.
right. They beat every team by like an average of like 43 points. Like it was embarrassing. Like
one NFL team could put their best people on the field. And
one NFL team could put their backups of their practice squad out there and still beat like the athletes
All right,
in the
I think
NFL
you're doing the other
are
extreme. You're
elite.
doing too much hate on the other side now. You're gonna hate on me for doing that, and then you're gonna go 180.
180.
180.
Come on.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you that I don't know, man. I gotta watch some flag football games. I don't know. First down.
Longest losing streak in the nation about to end. What up, Pack?
At a final of 6-0.
Fucking
flag.
sick
There's a
game.
flag. We celebrated too hard. We celebrated too hard.
We're getting a dub.
Yep.
We don't
Hey
even know
man,
that. Probably
hey
just
man.
jinxed
At
it.
least for
Oh.
one night, you feel like a hoss. Until you lose, now you get at least a week to celebrate. That is the dope thing about being in a football like sense.
Got those weak.
It's a whole week victory for sure. You don't have to, you either get to keep celebrating, or oh well, we lost one. Sorry, we'll be back.
So keep your eye out for all NHL starting. NBA
The NBA on Tuesday.
is starting up. Good call, Chuck. Tuesday, right?
Tuesday.
Do we have
Nuggets and the Warriors.
Lakers.
Lakers. I'm
Lakers
sorry. Yes.
starting off?
That's a big game. I guess.
Obviously, keep your eye out for all NHL.
The World Series is right around the goddamn corner
Yes,
down here. I can't
Yes.
believe you're
Love
not talking
that.
about
Well,
that.
I was working on it. I'm working on the NHL. Working my way through it. NHL still going. Knights are 5-0, looking champ wise. College football starting on Tuesday this week. There's a Tuesday game, Wednesday game, Thursday game. Lots of college football.
Why not?
Love it.
Why not?
Yeah. NHL
Bring the fire.
and NFL Thursday night, and then check out what happens. We have 2-3-2 series. I'm not sure that the D-backs can go to the bank and win, but you still got the Phillies and Astros up 3-2. So check out those games, and then like Chuck said, World Series around the corner, man.
Dude,
It's
the
gonna be
chips,
good.
the chips are the best. The chips are the best. Like,
Phillies Astros is gonna be epic if that's what it turns out to be. Because there's gonna be so much
There's
hate
not
on the
Astros.
Astros, and that Philadelphia ballpark's gonna be doom, 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 doom.
that Philadelphia ballpark's gonna be ringing no matter who walks in.
But when it's Astros, there's gonna be they're gonna be yelling and screaming at the Astros. It's gonna be booing, dude. It's gonna be hot.
that wasn't who they took the chip from. It was.
Yeah,
I
but
thought it was the Nationals, right? That
Yeah,
they
but the
were on
Astros
chip
beat them
from. Oh
last
no, it was
year.
the Dodgers. It was the Dodgers
Right,
the
but
year that they
but
won
last year the Phillies lost.
to the Astros.
Correct.
That's right. To go to because the Astros. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they won
So lots
that
of
would
big
be the
stuff.
matchup.
Lots of big stuff around the corner. Check us out on
X, Buzzsprout, Spotify, YouTube, you
Instagram.
know, we're all over the place.
So come find us.
At Balls&Brews NV, at Balls&Brews. We didn't even get through our third one, y'all. We kind of fumbled the bag on
maybe
this
fade
last
Trev's
section.
picks from now on. I know Trev's been
probably.
struggling.
We have
Chuck's been playing pretty
only,
well.
I've only
He's the
not
best.
covered once. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Chuck's
mean,
been
we're
betting
week
for a
7. I've
while.
only missed one bet, so follow the Roscoe picks.
I'm over 50% right now. Over the 50%.
I think I like Trev's bet this week though with the pick'ems and the Packers. I would have leaned towards the Packers as well.
Jordan Love's got to come out and play good.
All right.
Yep.
Until pod 33, man. Scottie Pippen's up next.
Cheers, everybody.
All right,
Yeah,
cheers.
Marcus Allen 3-2, baby.